If you could describe the project maybe in one word that you kind of think is the best for you, what would that be?
Incredible.
Right.
Relaxing, probably.
Yeah.
Got another word, magnificent.
Oh,
Just knowing that children will be there at lunchtime asking, what we're doing today, or, and just working with them in a very genuine and very human way is just an incredible thing to get up for. Very much worth being alive for.
It's good to get somewhere to go and relax, but also to get out of the frame of mind that it's all about exams. There's something else other than education. I mean, education is important, but there's other things out there, and education isn't for everyone.
It's a very easy place to come down if you need anything, just some time to chill. It's a very easy place to just come down and chill all the time.
But it's so relaxed and you don't feel too much pressure to do certain things, you feel like you're helping, or even with the little that you do.
Yeah, it's just like a peaceful place to come and get away from the busy school, and it's just nice to come somewhere and just relax, and just be able to just be yourself really, because you have to work really hard in school, but you can just relax down here.
Like say if you're having friendship problems or problems at school, you can always come down here, because if you just want to sit and just think, it's a peaceful place to think, and no one will come down, no one will hassle you, or if you just want to take the stress out of something, you can dig a hole or just do what you want down here pretty much, but it's quite chill.
I just think it's such a lovely place, and it's whenever I come down here I have a fab time with my friends, and yeah, it's great.
I love the fact that it's such an original thing for a school. I've never known a school to have an allotment, and in preparations for people having exams and stuff, it's really helpful to come and chill out and do something positive, and it's just a bunch of lovely people.
Fence. Right. So essentially, we need to drill all the way to the end. So this is. I just feel I'm working on behalf of the exam board, if I'm honest, and I'm just sort of getting the children and young people ready for somebody else's exam. Of course, that's important in school. Of course it is. That goes without saying. But I then realised that as a teacher, you should be like a figure that children and young people look to. So like a doctor, like a vicar, that's how a community should sort of run itself. And I think if all we do is just rehearse and rehearse and rehearse for the exam, I don't really think that's quite an education. I think that's preparation, exam preparation. And I think that's very different from education. I like to think things that, like the allotment or working outside, are of even more value and are just good for our soul.
You look at the space and you look at the world around you, and you can understand in your own mind that there's something more that can be done here, something that's far more sustainable and something that's far more fun than the mundane realism of office work or just general life.
I can come down here and relax, get away from the coursework and the stress of exams and preparation and lessons, and just be with like-minded people who are concerned for the environment and believe in sustainability and work together for something much greater than ourselves, really, that principle of permaculture, which is really important.
To me, it means getting the kids, the school children and the community around the school engaged with sharing an experience where they're working sort of together. It's a very practical way that people can really see how they affect their actual environment in which they live.
For me, we want students to be able to leave sixth form, not just with really impressive A-levels. You know, that's not the most important, the be-all and end-all in life. Actually, we want them to be able to see problems and difficulties as challenges. We've got the opportunities to volunteer. They've got the opportunities to do leadership, communicate with people who they wouldn't come into contact with necessarily in the classroom or in an assembly. And that's really important, as well as the new skills they develop, that we give our sixth formers the opportunity to do that.
The atmosphere is completely different and you feel like you're in a completely different zone when you're down here. And I think that's, as well as teaching young people about sustainability and how to live, it's also teaching people that there are other options and aspects of high school, and I think that's just so brilliant to see that everyone just feels so comfortable down here.
You know, the Allotment Project was never meant to be a couple of raised beds well done. You know, I was very, very serious on the outset about setting an example. You know, it is essentially a sustainable environmental learning zone for the school. I think it's looking really cool. We thought about this door. Can I chat to you about it? I was thinking, unless you think otherwise, that if we lowered it down a little bit to there, and then I've got some treated wood at home that because when the polythene comes round, it will wrap round that.
Yeah.
But what do you think if we lowered it down a little bit, and then we could? It was just the culture that we seem to have created in education. I think culture takes a very long time to change, and I think that I wanted to try and counter that in a way. So for my own well-being and for my own sort of enjoyment of working with young people, that was really like a trigger of the Allotment Project. We're going to have a bit of a drinks break in a moment, and then we're all going to divert our energy to the polytunnel. So we're just getting everything out, which you're very welcome to help me with if you like. The original one, you can see where it is. Mm-hmm. Looks like it starts halfway up. Lily, shall we divert energy now onto the polytunnel?
Okay.
I just think, because while we're all here, there's quite a lot to do before we can put on the plastic. I like to think that the Allotment Project just gives a very different way of learning, and I think preparing for exams is one learning, but I like to think that things and activities and problems that children work out with the Allotment Project will stay with them forever. You know, I think there's lifelong learning. Leave that, yes, because this is the plant, the fever.
Well, we do it on a Friday, and I think it's a brilliant way to end a busy week, but then also, you know, going back into Monday, you've got something to look forward to. So no matter how difficult your lessons are getting or how much homework you have or whatever, you always know you've got something nice ahead of you, no matter what, which I think is a really important thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's a different vibe to the indoor classroom, where you feel that sort of pressure to really be on point the whole time and always learning and always taking stuff in.
How are you? Are you alright?
I think it's like really fun and exciting. Like I feel like excited when I'm starting to work, and I just feel energized and everything. It's a relaxing place to come, like if I have a test or whatever, I come down here afterwards or before, just to rest.
There's jobs here, if you want to help you can help, if not that's fine. And it's that whole sense of escapism and freeing yourself from the whole stresses and strains of high school and college life. And when I did my GCSEs last year, I was down here every single day, And you know, some teachers and students were like, you can't be down the allotment all the time, you've got your GCSEs. But it's because I was down here that it was the atmosphere. It was sitting at the bench, revising, and just being totally calm.
How are we looking?
Oh wow, you are putting those up, brilliant. So we need at least one more on. Yeah, so all that's left now, we'll just double check the handbook, is just to do what they've done on this side. Yep. And then to the best of my knowledge, then we are ready then for the quality. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Brilliant. Sounds like the Osama bin Laden. Don't show off, man. Claim to fame. Bit of constructing. Oh right, okay. So there are loads of these in this box. And basically these are the bits that... Yeah, so Ollie and Liam are going to come and help. Okay. If that's alright. Yep. And then they all need to go on the ones just to make it extremely strong.
I'll do all of them. Oh. Ow. Okay. No.
What do you think it does for your learning in school?
I definitely feel, because obviously we come down at lunch, I definitely feel in fourth period I'm like really chilled and just, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in a nice mindset. You just come down and it's like, you just take a deep breath and it just makes you like almost relax and you kind of forget about all of the pressure at school. So then, yeah.
It also teaches you, I guess, like environmental skills. Like we have like the paper baskets in class, the bottles that we collect, and it's just also a skill to like help the environment at the same time.
Brings so much to Reepham, really. I think, and it's not just the high school; it's the college as well. Both of them benefit in so many different ways. The young people see the improvement on a daily basis. A lot of them come down here now in their own time and view what they've done, and I like to think at some point in the future they'll come back and the stuff that they've done will still be there. Ponds, paths, woodland area, polytunnels, ploughing, cutting, mowing, you name it, and creating benches. It's all there, and it's stuff that's sustainably created, and it's things that will teach them things from an environmental point of view, but also hands-on skills, things that are often lost in the modern world, you know, just hammer and nails type stuff. And it's a chance for success on a daily basis. They come down here and they succeed. They see things built, they work as a team, and they create some great projects.
It's like a learning environment which is not just inside the classroom, it's to do outside, and so it's a big different impact from what you do in the classroom from coming down here.
It's just like life skills that you learn. So like, say you live in the city, you wouldn't normally learn it, but you just come down here and you just learn all different skills, and it's just friendly, so yeah.
Well, you meet a lot of friends who are similar minded. A big part of it is engaging with the school children to actually talk about either wood joints or environmental issues or you know, whatever it might be. I think you know, having somebody who's practically doing something works far more than somebody standing up and just telling them what to think, helping, you know, people to engage and to see how they can affect and make an improvement and the outcome that they can hope to achieve.
So we have to manually take this tape off. I'll try and keep it on the grass so it... I think this is even better stuff than last time. Guys, we'll hold fire for a second. Hold fire. just in case we've made a miscalculation, but I don't think we have. So now that's weighted down, we'll go around the back and we'll pull that side down into the trench, really, really tight, and then we'll do the same.
It's massive, isn't it?
What do you think, Aaron?
Ginormous.
Enormous.
Shut up.
I can think of one or two specific examples of kids who are so suited to the Allotment Project. If that wasn't there for them, they would not be the kids they are now, without any doubt. And I'm thinking of some kids who are younger, who actually that's their big thing. That's the thing they love and they look forward to. That's the thing they're best at. And we have students show important visitors around the allotment in a way that you wouldn't dream, who have developed the social skills and the confidence that goes with being part of that team down there. Take that away from what they've done here, those students wouldn't get the opportunity. And I'm talking about the social development, really, of these kids. We had the Bishop of Norwich come and visit, was shown around by 2 or 3 students in particular, and the confidence they had in doing that was amazing. Put them in other parts of the school and they haven't got that confidence. So in terms of building self-esteem and a sense of worth and sense of value, then this offers again something that it fills in gaps that the school can't offer.
I think in the classroom you see a certain level of development with young people, but I think down here you can see that happen slightly quicker. Projects being successful, and students having created that and going back and then telling their friends, or even just collecting eggs from the chickens, for example. For some students in the high school, that is their world each day. I think that's fantastic. So just being able to sort of help provide that, I think is brilliant.
Everyone ready? Stop. Joking around. Are you happy?
Just before I became a teacher, I spent time in Uganda, and these children walk miles and miles in the baking sun to get to school. They have very little materialistic goods, if probably none, but they're happy. They are really, really happy, and I sometimes look at our young people and children in this country and think, mental health is a very serious issue, and it seems to have dramatically risen even since I've started as a teacher. And I think children not turning up for school, certainly when I was at school, was unheard of, or very, very rare, very unusual. And I just think, what are we doing? Is it the fact that we put too much pressure on children? Possibly.
It's important for a variety of reasons. I think sort of the whole wider picture of life, we are all losing touch a little bit with nature, and I really believe that. I know Matt feels that strongly as well. I'm a Norfolk lad, I live in the countryside. We're quite privileged here, but I do believe that every school should have a little allotment. I think the growing of vegetables, simple stuff like that, skills that are being forgotten, and I think the more time I spend in schools, the more time I spend as a human being, the more important I think it is to connect with nature through being in the outdoor environment.
Actually being down here is very tranquil. As you can probably see right now, it's quite nice to be down here no matter what the weather is. I think even if it's bracing and it's raining, actually it's still pretty peaceful. That can only pay dividends for your mental well-being, really.
You get like fresh air, you're not stuck inside looking at a screen or whatever. You're getting outside and you're doing things.
Just be going outside, getting your hands dirty, then coming back, having a time of your life.